Okay, we have two thank you notes, one from the Salvation Army for $250 to support a life-changing work of the Salvation Army. So that's one. And the second one is from the Northwest Lions Foundation for $2,000, and they thank us again for the gift and helping us give gifts of sight, hearing, hope, and joy. I'll get this eventually. So now we have Phil Olson for guest speaker.
Fortunately,
It's not your birthday.
Fortunately, the Tail Twisters left lots of time because I am channeling George Rader today. The program will begin in about 20 minutes. I'm pleased today to have two people from Kelch Communities come to visit us. They're here to talk about a special program that is for veterans. I knew nothing about it until I saw the flyer that Diane sent to one of our program chairs. And so this is exciting, and I think it's really a cool thing to hear about. So Diane Kraft she'll introduce Debbie Baer. Diane is the community liaison for Kelch Communities. She's also distinguished because she has better attendance at this meeting than some of our members. She gets up very early in the morning to go to the Rotary. Yeah, okay. She has known Terry Kegler since birth. They went through school together, and one of them was a success. Anyway, please give a warm Lions welcome to Diane Kraft.
Thank you. You guys are a tough act to follow. And when George Rader started texting me and inviting me here, I was worried, especially when I saw George Rader. That scared me to death. And when he said he wasn't going to be here, I thought that might be a good thing. But he's out having a great time, I guess. So we're here today, and you know, it's great to see a lot of familiar faces, and I know there's a lot of stories we could share back and forth, and I know a lot of you in a variety of, oh no. And I know a lot of you in a variety of ways, professionally, friends, acquaintances, and so there's not too many faces in the room that I don't know. I even remember a couple from my retail days back in 1950. And a few of you are here, and I won't mention any names. So it's really fun to be here, and you're such a great group. And yes, I am a Rotarian. Don't hold that against me. But we all have this common goal, and that's to serve the public. Is that not right? Yes. And you'll also be happy to know I eat your hamburgers and your ice cream. I was down there this year, so. Okay. So yes, Debbie and I are here because the Kelch have chosen for us to reach out to the community. We can't be all to all people. We can't continue to always give donations to the community. But one way that we can give back is to talk about this VA benefit program. This VA benefit program is also kind of known as aid in attendance. But if you don't learn anything from us today, take away this one little comment, and that is if anyone is a veteran in this room, how many veterans do we have? Thank you. Appreciate your service. And then, that's good. We can give them a round of applause. They deserve more than that. And what about a surviving spouse of a veteran? Do we have any? Okay. And how many spouses are sitting in this room that their veteran is still with us? How many do we have in this room? So we have several too. So here's for all of you that raised your hand. As time comes and needs change or come about, you need to look into this program for eligibility. There is no excuses for any of you not to look into this program if you have needs in the future. Some of your needs may be very minimal. We at Canterbury Park, which is our independent community, a lot of those residents are eligible for this benefit, and they're totally independent. They're driving, and they're volunteering, and they're doing things. So think about this program as life continues, because it does change. Hate to be bearer of bad news, but it does change. So this is a program that financially has helped many people in the community. We've reached out to people to Riderwood, to Long Beach, Ocean Park, all over. Wherever we can take this information, we share. So thank you for being here today. A couple of newsworthy items. We're bringing back the cruise to the Delaware, which is coming up on September 15th. And this is the way our residents can give back to the community. We have chosen Dino Doozer as one of the recipients of the fundraiser, which is Fighting Cancer for Kids, and then also Relay for Life. So we haven't had it for about 8 years, I believe. I think we figured it out. So it's coming back September 15th, and we have a flyer. So please come and support that. And then we also have handouts. If you didn't get a handout about the VA presentation today, let me know. I went across to Reprographics, our friends, and they printed off a lot more copies. Because this is, again, information that you need to take home with you. You can be eligible up to about $1,700 a month. And that's direct into your deposit of your account. That doesn't go to anyone else. And it may cover some needs in your own home, not necessarily in the community. So with that, I'd just like to also welcome you to any of our communities. We're undergoing a huge remodel in 3 of the 4 right now. Delaware Plaza being the very first assisted living community in the state of Washington. And McKelsh had a foresight that none of us can even imagine. And then we're almost claimed to fame of being the first in the United States. Somebody might have beat their paperwork to us, so we can't take that claim. But we are the first one in the state of Washington, and they were doing assisted living way before it was even, the word even came about. So we're really grateful for their foresight. And then Canterbury Inn is undergoing a huge remodel as well, and we're going to be adding a memory care area for the Canterbury Inn, so spouses can be in the same building together. And then moving on from Delaware, Canterbury Inn, and then Gardens is undergoing a lobby remodel. So a lot going on, and again, we appreciate them keeping our buildings beautiful. But we sell services, talk about services, buildings are sticks and bricks. So anyway, with that, Debbie Bear is our Director of Community Relations for Delaware Plaza. She came to us from Cascadian in Vancouver. And she's been with our company for 12 years, and that's something we're very proud about is the longevity of our staff. I've been with the company almost 19 years. And then we have nurses that have been with us 18, 19 years, and other staff has been with us for 20. We have one I was going to call her a resident. Ooh, it would really slap me. And she's been with us for 40 years, just celebrating 40 years with us. So that's one thing that sets us apart from other communities. With that, if anyone did not get this handout, I will start handing these out as Debbie gets started, and I will give you one. And please share it with your friends, but even if it doesn't pertain to you. Thank you.
What we're doing again is an awareness, and that is what our goal is just to get this awareness of the benefits out there to you, and hopefully if you might know someone to continue to spread the awareness of these benefits. Because the medical costs are rising, and with this benefit, what we're trying to do is show people that 25 to 50% of their medical expenses can be covered by some of these benefits that we're going to talk about today. As Diane was saying earlier, these benefits are for the veterans, their spouses, and the surviving spouses. There is something there for most people. Available to the veterans and their spouses, we have the service-connected compensation and a non-service-connected pension. Okay, they're going to be a little bit different. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the service-connected compensation first, and that is not dependent on the income, okay? Agent Orange is a great example of this. Is there anybody here that was in Vietnam?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened here.
There might be. Okay, Agent Orange, boots on the ground. Almost everybody is going to qualify for this, okay? Some point or the other, unfortunately. It's sad that this, so many different diseases have developed because of Agent Orange that we used over there. But having boots on the ground is going to help qualify for this benefit. And a lot of people are looking up to $3,000 a month. going into their bank account. The brown waters, we can get benefits if you were in the brown waters now. This always has not been true. People were denied benefits when they first came back over and people were coming down with illness. They were denied. Brown waters now qualifies. Blue waters, we're still working on this a little bit, and there is a list of different ships that are hitting their registry, and if you were aboard one of those ships, you can qualify. And again, things are changing rapidly on what's qualifying people and not qualifying people, so always look back. If you were told no before, go back and check again. And same thing for the future. If you're told no today, go back later on. On the handout that Diane just passed around, there's 14 of common diseases that people are getting from Agent Orange. It's appearing, years later. Type 2 diabetes, that's a big one that we're seeing out there. So if you've got one of these diseases and it's preventing you from carrying on the work that you were trained to do, you need to get in there and schedule an examination. And then this is going to determine your rating, and if you get 10% or larger on your rating, you're going to start getting some funds for this. Okay? So we just need that doctor to link everything back to the Agent Orange. Any questions on this?
Just out of curiosity, is this a doctor in this community, or is this a doctor down at the VA?
Normally, people are going to tell you to use a VA doctor. They have started hiring out third party because there's a lot of people now obtaining this benefit. So I would start out, with a phone call to the VA first, and then go from there. And yes, you can use your primary care physician, and there's a record there, so everything's going to tie in. Yes.
The brown water and blue water, I don't know, do people in the water?
Okay, the brown water were these little boats going up the rivers.
Right.
And just right around. So you didn't have to necessarily touch the water, but that's just what they're relating to the brown water. The blue water, I believe, is about 6 miles out offshore and farther.
Okay, did these guys get diseases or physical problems because they were on the water, going through it?
The chemicals,
Highly contaminated.
it was diesel mixed
Water.
with the chemicals to kill the vegetation.
Yeah.
And so when that came down, it was sticky mess that just came down on everybody that was involved. Even the ships, when the helicopters were landing on the ship, somebody had to be up there scrubbing and cleaning, so you're in the mess. Any other questions on this? We were working with a couple, and he's on hospice now, and he is getting this benefit. His wife and him, they were only been married about 8 years, and they purchased their home then. And after, he passes, she's still going to get some of this benefit, so they're able to keep their home. Some of the damage that this did, another couple, or this one lady we were talking to, one of our first presentations, she is divorced, but very close to her husband still. They had 4 children together. 2 of them did not make it, and the 2 that did make it did have open heart surgeries because of this. And he was denied benefits, and his legs were just brown, she said, clear up to his knees just from this. So it's pretty ugly out there. And again, he was denied, so he is now turning around and reapplying. Okay, this is another pension. This is called with aid and attendance. This is completely different than service connected. So you must have been enlisted in a branch of the service, 1 or more days enlisted during a conflict, an honorable discharge, married to the veteran at the time of death or the widow of. very important. Okay, wartime periods I've put on this handout. Yes,
On the Vietnam era thing, it says August 4th, 64 is the end of the first one. In country only.
correct.
Does that mean in Vietnam only?
That's boots on ground, correct.
So if you were in prior to August 5th, you don't vote. How about the Cuban Missile Crisis?
What years were those?
62 or 3? October 22nd, 62.
But we're not able.
Yes, I'm gonna say that's gonna qualify you because Vietnam's going on, too.
Yeah, but you weren't in Vietnam.
No. I can definitely look that up for you, but, or Diane can probably maybe get somebody on the phone and get the answer for us by the time we're done. Good question, I haven't asked that one yet. And that brings something up that, it just has to be a conflict going on, you don't have to physically be there. Well, we had people playing volleyball on the beach someplace, well, the guns were going off, but it just takes enlisted for that one day.
How about Grenada?
What year?
78, 79.
Again, we'll check on that one. Because a lot of these are still being set into place by law too. And if you kind of notice the pattern, it takes a few years, quite a few years, before they actually set this back to see who's gonna get these pensions. Merchant Marine dates. World War II is the only conflict that we have out there where Merchant Marine is gonna qualify. And that's between December 7th of 41 and August 15th of 45. So another condition to qualify is that you're gonna need to have some help in some kind of areas, whether it's a son or daughter coming in to help assist you in any way. Maybe somebody has a fear of falling, they're walking with a cane. Well, that right there, you're walking for a cane for some reason. And so if you have your son or daughter coming over to visit and you are taking your bath during that time, you have somebody else there around you that, they might not be in the same room, but in case you fall, there's somebody there just in case. And that is qualifying people. New as of April 1st, it also includes when somebody is helping set up somebody else's medications and those Medisets. So that is assistance now. So that does qualify people. And this is opening it up to where people are starting to get some of these benefits at home. They're not going to get up to the full amount of this benefit, but it's starting a little bit to where you can start getting some type of fund at home. This is a needs-based system, so your medical expenses needs to be higher than your monthly income coming in to qualify for this. So that's gonna probably cut out a lot of people at home, but we're still seeing people get some of these benefits starting at home, and that's called housebound. Residential care communities. Diane was talking about, we have a retirement home. You may not be needing any assistance, but let's say that you didn't come down to lunch. We know that. So there is some kind of supervision there. In case somebody has fallen, somebody is going to know about that, and that is going to make a big difference on getting this benefit. And then the rent of that apartment is also considered a medical expense at that time in the VA's eyes. So we can always work with everybody to see if we can get that benefit for them. Okay, I've got the rates in the handout also on how much you can qualify up to. These numbers, most of the time will go up just a little bit on a yearly basis. I have seen one year where they did flatten out and stay the same for a couple years in a row. So ask yourself if you might qualify, or your friend or neighbor, because a lot of us, we like to care for people, so we're always checking on our neighbors. So get the word out to them too, that there's something out there possibly, and if they were told no before, please check again. So we've got a few different ways to apply that I've also got on the handout for people. If they want to do this, you can do this online yourself. There's a place down over on Ocean Beach Highway. He's doing a fabulous job getting people on benefits also. What we need to be aware of though is there is a lot of scams going on. And if somebody says, hey, we're going to get you this benefit, and now they're taking your money and they're moving it around and selling you annuities and they're making money off of you, that is a scam. You should not have to pay anything to get help to do all this legwork. There's my references I have up there. Any questions at all?
What
Go ahead.
is the entry point to come to you, or where do veterans go to
If
take the
you want
next
to
step?
call me, if anybody wants to call me, I'll have my card, I'll have that available to people, and I can, help direct what might be the best avenue for that person at the time on where to apply. Kelch Properties, if you move into our property, we actually hire somebody out of Tennessee, and I believe that's who Diane's getting a hold of right now, to help answer those questions. And a lot of times, I will bring people into my office, and I'll just call them, and we'll find out right then and there if they're going to qualify. And this does not cost anybody anything. And then if they qualify, you've got choices on where you want to file for this benefit.
You can also go out there on Ocean Beach,
Right,
and they'll go through the whole program.
that's correct. He's really good out there too.
Eldon's right.
Yep, Eldon.
And
Could you repeat what you said? Yeah, Ocean Beach.
Ocean Beach Highway,
BFW.
so DFW, there's a service center there for veterans.
Big sign that says bingo.
There's also, the Cowlitz County Veterans Service Center is over in the Fur Medical Complex, 1003 Fur, I think is the address. So there's two places you can go here.
and then help you fill out the forms. And when you start filling out those forms, you've got to put something in every blank, whether it applies to you or not. If it's a dollar amount and it doesn't apply to you, at least put a 0 in there, because I've seen people get their forms returned back to them for not completing a blank. So that's another, 2 cents out there to fill out everything there is. Whether you know the answer or not, at least put a 0 there. Does anyone know someone that might be able to apply for this benefit after hearing what I said today? You have a question? Oh, good. Okay, good. Uh-huh. Okay.
So the answer is no,
What was the
not
question?
eligible
Thank you. Which
for
one?
the Cuban from 1962, is that what the date became?
62,
Yeah, I just talked, we have a team that Debbie, may or may not have talked about already, but we have a team that we partner with in Tennessee. And we can make calls just like this anytime about open operation, and we have his cell phone, and he'll answer our calls immediately
Debbie?
if he's not with a client. And so that's what's so nice about our team. And then we also, I just gave him forewarning, we're meeting with a couple tomorrow, and she's 95 is the wave, and he was in the service, he's 88, and we're meeting with them, and we'll sit down and we'll actually talk to them in Tennessee, and he'll help us through this process. So this is a great resource for us that we would pass on to you or the veteran or spouse of the veteran.
Diane,
Yes.
my mother lives down in Phoenix. That 800 number you run.
Yes, that's to our team. Now, if our team, which, see the brochure, but we can give you the number, there's not enough brochures to go around.
we can, Debbie and I will be happy to share the number, but keep in mind, this is a team that helps represent us in our communities. And if someone is moving into our communities, we call Glenn right away, and he helps process the paperwork, and it takes 30 to 90 days to see the monies come back into your account. And with the VA, they're very helpful. Elton out at the VFW is fabulous. He's a great guy. He helps with the process as well. But it seems to take a little longer, and we're not sure why. But we learned down at Ocean Park, they have Terry is their representative down there, and she said that she's learned that when she fills out the paperwork, it goes to Seattle. Then from Seattle, it goes to Missouri. And then if you didn't dot your I's, cross your T's, you forgot something, then it comes back that process back to the VFW in Ocean Park. So now we can kind of see why it's taking a little bit longer. I don't know what happens between A, B, and C, but something does. And so with our contacts, we pay him. I'll just be honest with you. We pay him. But he knows how to dot the I's, cross the T's. And he's certified to do this, but he works with a law firm. And so that law firm represents our residents for life. And we pay that fee. Now, there have been some that hired him independently, and that's fine. That's your preference. And then he'll hire you, or not hire you, he will represent you for life as well. But it is an $800 fee, not to process the paperwork. There's much more research and stuff involved. So, and you don't always have to have all your forms, your DD2, is that what you call those things? D14, DD14, whatever, you don't need it. You just have your years of service and they can research all of that for you. I always get confused. I have mine, my dad's in a book. I don't pay attention to all the numbers and letters and all of that. But anyway, this is a great group that we work with. He also, if you just had questions, we could sit down with you and make that call, and questions are free. And he won't take a claim if you're not eligible. So you don't hire him and go, and you come back later and say, oh, you're not eligible. That's not how they work. We worked with this company for 10, 12 years, Debbie. So they're reputable.
No, very informative. Well, thank you very much, Diane and Debbie, for your presentation.